And we are rolling, it looks like. Okay, good morning, good evening, good day. This is Ralph with a spiritual stream here, talking about how to stay focused in a world of distractions. If you've been on social media or really any form of media for very long, you know how easy it is to become distracted by one thing or another. Several years ago, I was trying to start our first home based business, getting it started, by talking to people on Twitter. And in those days, I was extremely politically centered. And I would get up 3 o'clock in the morning with every intention to go on to Twitter and just start promoting the business. And within 20 minutes of being on Twitter, I'd be getting distracted by political postings, commenting on political posts, playing hashtag games, things like that. And I could spend like 6 hours a day on Twitter with the intent in the beginning of promoting our business. But by the end of that 6 hour period, I really hadn't done much by way of promoting the business at all. I'd been busy, talking politics, arguing politics, playing hashtag games, cracking jokes. And, there's time for all that stuff in social media. But if you allow all these things to distract you from your primary purpose, then you're never going to accomplish what it is that you set out to accomplish. And one day, my wife asked me, why is it that we're not making gains in this business when you're spending so much time on Twitter talking about your business? That made me stop to think, what am I really doing on Twitter? Was I spending the time talking about the business, building networks, networking with the right people? Or was I being distracted by political arguments and, joking around, things like that? And so, yeah, that taught me that I really need to stay focused when I'm on social media. And it's the same with anything else, whether you're trying to build a business, whether you're trying to build a meditation practice, or anything else. There's a lot of things screaming for our attention in the media, social media included, mainstream media in general. And, every time that there's a crisis, and there is always going to be a crisis in life. Sometimes, like the times we're living right now, we've got a lot of crisis going on in the Middle East, a lot of crisis with Israel, Gaza, Palestine. And it's like, man, it's just so easy to get sucked into all this crisis and drama. And if you're not careful, you can turn on your computer, you can, pick up your smartphone. And I mean, this thing can be buzzing, screaming for your attention 24/7. And I mean, you can devote all your time to the drama, to the crisis that is going on around us all the time. And how do you stay focused in a world of distraction? How can you stay focused when you go on social media and everybody is vying for your attention? Well, there are a few tricks that I have found to staying focused in a world of distraction. One trick that I'm going to submit for your approval is that of tithing your time. Now, a lot of people that are active in spiritual communities, in their church or other spiritual organizations, they know about tithing their money. They'll take like 10% of their income and they'll give it to the church or to the mosque or to the temple or any other spiritual community. I encourage you to do the same thing with your time. Think of the time that you spend uh, playing games on social media Or think of the time that you spend watching television every evening, or the time that you spend watching Netflix and chilling. Think of all the time that you spend in recreation and then become willing to take 10% of that time and put it into something more worthwhile. Put it into something like maybe if you're building a home business, put that into your business training, put that into your business promotions, the time that you spend promoting your business. If you're trying to grow a meditation practice, then take 10% of the time that you would take playing games, watching TV, spending times with Netflix or Hulu or what have you, and take that time and put it into your daily meditation practice. But take like a tenth of the time that you spend just playing around, goofing around, and channel that time back in to something more worthwhile. And if you're trying to develop a spiritual practice like meditation, then taking 10% of the time that you spend just playing games and putting it into your meditation practice or other spiritual practices, that will give you a little bit of time every day that you can spend growing yourself as a more spiritual person. When people are thinking about starting a meditation practice or a new habit, a lot of times they'll object, I don't have time for all this stuff. Well, the average person spends a lot of time just watching TV, chilling out on the couch, being a couch potato, drinking beer, eating potato chips, watching your favorite programs. And, I'm not a total Puritan on that. I no longer drink alcohol, but, I do like to relax and chill out in other ways. So, yeah, there is a value to taking time out for your own recreation. I mean, recreation, take that word, break it down, spell it out. How does recreation spell out? Literally, it means recreation. Take the word creation, put re on the front of it, you've got recreation. You take time in recreation to literally recreate yourself, become a fresher person, a better person. So yeah, there is some good for recreation. It can be your personal time that you spend in recharging your batteries, recreating yourself. But take a tenth of that time and put it into something else, something that is equally valuable, maybe even more valuable, and just take 10% of that time. If you take like an hour a day in recreation, 10 minutes every morning spent in just meditating can be a good place to start. If you spend 4 hours a day in your own personal recreation, whatever that may be, taking a tenth of that time and channeling it into a meditation practice or your home business or any other practice that you're wanting to grow and develop, that can be a good way to budget your time. We all have 24 hours in a day. Successful people know how to budget their time more effectively. And as spiritual people, we have to do the same. If you want to grow spiritually, make good use of your time. So, in the same way that you might budget, 10% of your income and donate that back to your church or other spiritual organization, do the same with your time and take 10% of the time that you spend on a daily basis just having fun, watching TV, watching Netflix, playing around, and budget that time back into your spiritual practice or any other thing that you are working on trying to develop. Another trick, and this will be the last one that I talk about today. We're going to keep this stream kind of short. But another practice that I'm seeing the value in, and starting to practice on more of a weekly basis is the practice of observing a holy day, one day in seven, to just getting away from social media, turning off the TV, getting away from all the distractions, and just letting people know, this is my one day a week where I will not be on YouTube. I will not be on TikTok. I will not be on any other social media networks. I am going to be spending that time at home doing my own spiritual reading, putting time into meditation, putting time into my own personal growth, and just one day in seven. Uh, Observe that as your holy day. It can be a Sunday. It can be any day of the week that you like, any day of the week that works for you. Some people might like Wednesday. Some people might do it on a Friday, but just take one day in seven and get the heck off of social media. Turn off this handy dandy phone and turn off all your notifications. Just shut everything down and just take like maybe not even the whole day, maybe just 8 hours, maybe just 12 hours, maybe just 2 or 3 hours, but dedicate one holy day a week to just focus on spiritual reading, meditation, spending time in quiet, getting out into nature, listening to God's music, listening to the birds, listening to the rivers, listening to the streams, and just build that connection with the world around you without all those other distractions. Because, yeah, if we allow all those other distractions to take our attention from us, then we will never have time for any kind of growth, spiritual or otherwise. But if you're able to take maybe an hour of every day, make that like your holy hour, and taking one day a week and making that your holy day, and just getting away from all these distractions and just making a conscious effort to just say, okay, this 1 hour of the day, when I wake up, I will not turn on social media. I will not, play games on hashtag games on Twitter. I will just sit and I will meditate. I will get focused. I will listen to the higher power of my understanding, and I will connect with the wider universe. And I will focus on listening to what my higher power, what the universe around me has to teach me. And then after I've taken my time in that holy hour every day, I will then go about my daily business. And that's one trick that I use to really come up with ideas for live streams, for articles, for, memes and TikTok videos, is that, yeah, I will just take an hour of every day and focus on, you know, just stuff. Maybe nothing in general. Just listen. Take time out, listen in the silence, and see what the universe, the higher power of my understanding, has to tell me in that one sweet hour of prayer and meditation. And then taking one day a week. I was, for the longest time, pushing myself 7 days a week, just focusing on the business, focusing on this, focusing on growing economically, focused on growing, the whatever, just focusing on business growth 7 days a week, all the time. And you know what? I found that made me stale. And how I could overcome becoming stale and just running out of ideas would be to take one day a week and just telling people, okay, I'm not going to be on social media on this one day, and just focusing on other things, focusing on my own spiritual growth, focus on my own inspiration, motivation, One of the businesses that we have is a business where I provide motivational services for people over the phone. It's hard to be motivational and inspirational if you're going into a session with all the imagination of a dried fig or a dried prune. You have to get motivated yourself before you can share motivation and inspiration with other people. And taking like 1 hour of each day to focus on my own inspiration and motivation and connecting with the universe, and then taking one day in 7 and just making that like my holy day and focusing on growing as a spiritual person. That gives me the motivation and the inspiration that I need so I can share that out with other people. There's a wise saying, you cannot give what you do not have. And there's a lot of truth to that. And if you're constantly just burning the candle at both ends, burning yourself out in the process, trying to keep going like 12-hour days, 7 days a week, just pushing, 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 eventually you're going to reach the point of burnout. But if you take 1 hour a day, use that as your time to recharge, get focused, and one day in 7 every week as your holy day to again just focus on your own motivation, inspiration, and just connecting with the God, goddess of your own understanding, then yeah, that will empower you to be a much more effective person in whatever it is that you choose to do in life. So, yeah, 2 tips there. Take 10% of your time, at least, I would say, at least 1 hour a day. Because I think most people will take maybe 1 hour a day is too much, but I don't think 1 hour a day is too much to ask. But if you think that it is, then 10, 20 minutes a day, I think anybody can budget that and just put that into your own spiritual practice. And one day in 7, I think is a good practice. But yeah, if you can do that, that's a good basis to start with. And yeah, just focus on your own spiritual growth just by budgeting your time more wisely. Don't tell yourself, I don't have time for this. Just budget some time that you're going to put into it and then see how it goes. And when we're talking about spiritual practices like meditation, what I actually find to be true is the more time that I spend in meditation, the more productive the rest of my daily time is after I've had my meditation. I'm able, if I dedicate 1 hour a day to meditation, I'm able to get a lot more done in the remaining 7 or 10 hours, however long your workday happens to be. But I can get a lot more done in the remaining hours of my day after my meditation practice than I normally would have done if I had just skipped my meditation practice and gone all in on the business. So, yeah, meditation can be a very valuable practice if you budget the time to do it. And once you get into the habit of doing meditation on a regular basis, the more value you see in that practice and the more time you are going to become willing to budget to that practice, the longer that you get into it. So, yeah, how to stay focused in a world of distractions. It really is making a conscious effort, making a conscious decision that I'm going to take this hour or this 20-minute period and just say, you know what? No social media, no distractions. It's just me and my higher power. And then taking one day a week to be your holy day and just say, you know what? No business, no social media, no distractions. I'm just going to hang out with my higher power, enjoy my family, enjoy the cats running around the house, the dogs, the parrots, whatever it is that you're into, and just enjoy life. Enjoy life in that moment, in those holy moments. So, yeah, take some holy time every time you can. A little bit every day, a little bit every week. Put that into your own spiritual growth and see what happens. That will help you to stay focused in a world of seemingly constant distractions. So that's all for now. Thanks for dropping by. If you are wanting to get some help in building a mindset of abundance, I've got a link that's scrolling on the screen down below. Hope it's not being too much of a distraction, but just go to ralphshomebiz.com/growrich. That will hook you up with some free materials that will help you to grow a mindset of abundance. And if you can budget an hour in the morning, Monday through Friday, to join into this group that is part of this Grow Rich Mastermind collection, then yeah, that can help you to grow a mindset of abundance. But just go to that link, see if it works for you. ralphshomebiz.com/growrich. It's a free resource. Check it out. See what you think. So now, that's all for this stream. This is Ralph signing out. Catch you in future updates. And thanks, as always, for dropping by. Bye-bye.